Welcome back to Shemsuniverse. So today guys, we're going to discuss name numbers. So today we're going to go into name number 1. So the name number of 1 is represented by the sun, which is the center of our universe. It shines on every other planet, sends its rays, and that's essentially what the 1 is all about, is being that pioneering force, as we know, that fire in the sky, that energy that we all look up to, that we all appreciate, and that can also burn and scorch us if we get too close. People with name number 1 are quite the same. They do have this solar energy within them. They do tend to be the center of the crowd wherever they go. They tend to be the heads of business when they get into companies. They tend to start their own companies. They tend to invent new things. They're just the first force, the people that end up doing a lot with their lives, and people that end up taking over whatever realm they end up getting into. So it's not really about specific careers or occupations or what they're really supposed to do. It's a matter of how they do it. Number 1s are all about either just being aggressive, meaning they're just going to go somewhere, have an agenda, get it done aggressively with brute force, or they're going to do it with finesse. It's really up to you whether or not they're going to have to use finesse or aggression based on how you treat them. One thing I will say, 1s are very, very ruthless, and they will not stop until they actually do fulfill their needs and get what they want. This is the most masculine number. Number 9 would come in second, but this is the most initial masculine number. This really describes every attribute of masculinity, and I don't mean that in the sense that femininity is weak. Number 2 is femininity, which we'll be discussing tomorrow. But masculinity has a lot of these type of traits that's very direct, whether it be through communication or action, through thought processes, through words. All of these things is what they're going to utilize and use the 1 energy to really just penetrate reality and get what they want. So today what we're going to do is I'm just going to discuss briefly the different type of name number 1s. So we're discussing this under the Chaldean numerology context. So what that means is, guys, with the Chaldean numerology, it's different from Western numerology, where we are saying, okay, your full name at birth is what's going to actually just describe you, and that's about it. That's going to be your expression number. That's Western. In Eastern numerology, there's 2 different ways to get your name number. There's your name number, which describes the theme of your life, which means the name that you currently have on a certificate, not your birth certificate, but just on like your license, SIN number if you're in Canada, just your ID in general. So is it going to be your first, middle, last name? That all depends on what you have registered with the government. That's the name that's actually going to affect the theme of your life. Your life path number affects a major theme of your life, just a major highway. But this is like, I would say, it's the type of traffic you're going to have on that said highway. It's the type of conditions on the road. All right? So you can have a full name number that adds up to number 1, or secondly, as I discussed in the last video, you can have just simply a name that you go by that adds to number 1, such as like Roy. A lot of people in my business used to just call me Roy, and that would add to number 10. However, it's not a name that I go by often enough. Most people just call me Shem. So that's the name that I would say is my name number. So you got to decide for yourself whether you go by a nickname, a short abbreviation of your name, your full name, and that's really going to help us decide what your name number actually is, which is what we'll be discussing today through the Chaldean context. The Chaldeans do believe that your sound vibration is what affects your name. Meaning, if you go by a certain name, then that's the name that really has the power through the universe. That's the name that's going to manifest certain things for you. That's what's going to give you your natural skills and setbacks. All right, so let's get right into it. First one I want to discuss is number 10. I'm going to skip over number 1 just because nobody's name would really add to just simply number 1. Nobody just really has a 1-letter name. And we kind of discussed number 1 already earlier in the video, where I just said the general description of the number 1. There's different ones I'm going to discuss today. I'm just going to go over a few that really, really stick out with the number 1 name numbers, okay? So first off, with number 10. If you have a name number of 10, it's kind of like having the 1 next to a Wheel of Fortune. Picture that 0 as like a game show. It's a Wheel of Fortune. It can either be very good, very bad. These people can get to the heights of success, whether in anything that they do, or they can be the biggest failures in anything that they do. What you need to know is, if you have name number 10, that you have the capability of manifestation. You have a special relationship with your own root chakra. So what this means essentially, guys, is that When you have a special relation with your root chakra, that is the chakra that keeps us grounded. It keeps us very, very powerful and in our self, our sexual urges, our passion. All of these things are controlled by the root chakra. It's what really, really grounds us. The color of the chakra is red, and it really brings out the animalistic part of us. People that have a name number of 10 are going to naturally have that animalistic urge, whether they be male or female, and they're going to use that lust and they're going to use it towards the desires. The picture of this in the manifestation of the number 10 is like a snake going up the spine, so it's the beginning of Kundalini energy. It's not the spiritual aspect of it, but the physical one. It's a physical representation of spiritual strength. And what that shows is that when number 10s are faced with hardship in life, they'll run through it. Poverty, they'll run through it. Love problems, they'll run through it. This is a very, very powerful number for instant manifestation. The only thing I'll precaution you guys on is that number 10 is well known for just getting you what you think about. So if you are naturally a negative person, you need to make sure that you rethink, change your thought process, because the number 10 is actually going to give you exactly what you want. So you just want to be very careful there. All right. So the next name number I want to discuss today would be the number 28. Name number 28 is very, very, I wouldn't say it's a karmic number, but it's a number that actually is not considered the best luck within the number 1 series. Just simply due to the fact that it has 2, which is the moon, which is one's opposition, and then 8, which is Saturn, which is darkness, which is also one's opposition. When you add this up, it goes to 10, of course. However, the 2 internal components play a huge role in a said person's character. When you have that sort of thing going on, you may have a bit of problems with your relationships with your family, with friends, and just people in general. People might misinterpret you. This number, because it's still a mix of very, very powerful planets like the moon, Saturn, and the sun, it will give instant success, fast success. Out of nowhere, just boom. Your subconscious mind is just thinking about something, then you just naturally just attracted it. Still that's number 10, and now you have the moon as well behind you, which is naturally a subconscious number. All right? You need to watch out for treachery from others. You need to watch who you trust. You need to make sure that you actually pay attention to who's around you and what you're actually doing with your life. The biggest weakness for number 28 is that they're too trusting of others, and then that trust ends up turning around to bite them. If they can learn, or if you can learn if you're watching this, how to actually caution yourself in your relationship with people, and while staying on your purpose, you can be a very, very successful businesswoman or man. You can also be very successful in any company you undertake or any career you choose to go into. You'll be able to actually go in there, tackle things head on, and show the attributes of the numbers in a very, very positive light. The next number to discuss, guys, would be number 19. So I skipped 19 there for a special reason. 19 is the optimized version of the number 1. The 19 is 1, which is the beginning, the pioneering force. 9 is something I'm going to be getting to later on in the chapter, which is completion, but we should know about this already from my other videos. It's the completion number. It's the number that actually signifies everything is done. It has the attributes of all the other numbers. So when you bring 1 and 9 together, that means these people tend to start and finish everything they do. This is known as the prince or princess of heaven. When you add 1 plus 9 equals 10 again, so that also gives them that extra amplification of the 0 there. With this type of number 1, these are the very, very aggressive type of people. These are the type of people you don't really like to look on their face on the road. They're the type of people that will make eye contact with you and you see the fire in their eyes right away. This is a very passionate number. This is a number that's very much about having a lot of power within oneself through self-belief and manifesting just simply with their mind and with their actions. They do possess fear, but they tend to tackle fear very head-on. This is really the number of the warrior. People born on the 19th are usually like this, and people with name number 19 are definitely like this. If your name adds up to 19, you tend to tackle problems head-on. You will more than likely will not work for people. If you do end up working for people, it usually is through something such as law enforcement or military, just because you guys are naturally very, very militant within yourselves, and you tend to look at life in that sort of way. All right? The next number I want to discuss is 37. 37 is also a very, very good luck number. This is a number of a politician. 3, which is the Jupiter, which is a planet of fortune, wealth. And we have 7, which is Ketu, which is like a philosophical outlook, a bit standoffish. Adds again to 10, which would then be number 1. With the amplification of the 1 through 10, and then through the attributes of 3 and 7, we then have somebody who can think very deeply, who can look at other people's angles and perspectives, and then come to a very good collective decision. People with name number 37 end up becoming heads of different things, such as hedge fund managers, They end up becoming politicians. They end up doing things that just are in the field of entertainment, such as directing or producing. The reason for this is because they have a very creative need to satisfy, and they also have a philosophical need to satisfy. When they satisfy these two needs, it ends up bringing them to a career that ends up having mass influence on the world. This could be a very good or bad thing depending on if you want to be famous or infamous for something. Of course, if you do have this name number, my recommendations would be to get into one of the careers that I said, but that would be completely your choice. The final number I want to go over is what we would call a master number, even though in Western numerology it's not. And this is the number 55. This is double Mercury energy. It's a consecutive number. It's the last master number. In Eastern numerology, you can have a master number from 11 all the way up to 55. This number actually is going to provide you with a lot of quick intellect, lightning speed thoughts, the ability to win scholars, earn different diplomas, different scholarships, all type of things. Just because you guys are very, very naturally a genius. You guys have the capacity to work tirelessly for your goals because Mercury is the fastest moving planet around the sun. So when you get solar energy intertwined with Mercury energy, you have people that are innovative, pioneering, strong. They really believe in brutal strength, but except they're very, very smart. So you get somebody who is really going to look at life like a game, like a Monopoly board, finesse the whole thing, and get what they want one way or another. Like I said with the number ones, they're like that regardless. With 55 there, Mercury really amplifies this trait, and it makes them very, very swift to get things that they want. Unlike the other number ones that will go through things tactfully, these people will be tactful, but they'll have more of a speed associated with their goals. If they have a goal that a certain number of ones would take 2 years to do, 55 is going to take 2 months to do. That's just simply how it is. All right, so that should finalize my summary on the number ones, guys. If you guys do have any questions regarding any of the name numbers whatsoever, just please let me know in the comments. Aside from that, guys, please like, subscribe, holla. That's it for today, guys. Peace.